City Marathon requires strategy, not just physicality. 26.2 miles or 42 kilometers. That is the distance of a marathon. And yes, that feat is one of the most amazing feelings, both physically and emotionally, we can have. That's if you cross the line. A marathon itself is difficult, but back in 2022 in New York City, they had one of the highest DNF ratings of all major marathons. Yes, New York City's course is actually quite challenging. Not only is it undulating, but it's quite a little bit gain of elevation, just steadily, but enough to know it's a bit of a challenge. So when you add the 2022 heat exhaustion and humidity, it's just an extra little bonus kick to give you more challenge to cross that line. Dare say it, all those DNFs would not have occurred if we had our fueling strategy and hydration up to par. So in this video team, I'm gonna break down the total amount of calories we exert during an actual marathon on average, what this means in carbohydrates we should consume as a balance of ratio, and then total amount of calories of carbohydrates converted to carbs in grams, and ultimately what that looks like as food, because at the end of the day, it's all good to have numbers. What does that look like in actual food in front of us? So therefore, once you watch this video, you will break down what you should be eating in actual food in a lead up to your race. So whether you're running this New York City this weekend, or a friend is, maybe you should comment down below, let them know to watch this video. I'm excited to get you this information. But before we do, as I am also running New York City Marathon, once again, one of my favorite days of the year, time to get my weekly check-in. Let's go for a run with my man, Cony.
How you feeling?
Good beast. All right, bro, this is your DCs cocktail for you.
Looks good. It's better than Prime.
We all have our specialties. Brett's is like how to spend no money, also have an amazing time, and then also where to travel in New York, along with the rest of the world. So he gets like all the travel stuff. As a fitness dude, I'm kind of like Foot Locker. I just have a bunch of shoes.
Ooh, the all black Batmans.
Yeah. All right, welcome to the party, Brett Cony. What's up? If you guys don't know Brett, he's first and foremost one of my very good friends in the city. He's also a very well-known YouTuber. But what's really cool, I can't remember the exact date, but I'm like, Brett, you're on a marathon? And Brett does everything in New York. And what was your response?
I said yes, and then I backed out, if you remember that.
Yeah, and then a year later, he was like, okay.
Yeah, no, last year I was like going through some stuff, so I had to like back out, not because I didn't want to do it, but this year I was like, no matter what's going on in my life, I'm doing it, and we're doing it.
And we're doing it. So if you guys need to see a sick video, recently Brett put on his YouTube channel a nice little day in the life, but it also encompassed City Harvest.
Yep, gotta run.
And City Harvest is why we are running the New York City Marathons. So you're gonna rip into some miles and then also just catch up. That's why I love this. As we discussed, we are running on behalf of City Harvest. So I've put a link in the description down below where you can donate both to Brett and to my fundraising page. All those in the same place. But thank you for your support. As always, this channel is helping people eat like a legend, which means supporting those in need as well. Sun's out. The fact that it's been super rainy over the past week.
This is the day out of heaven.
This is just incredible. Coming to the finish. Good job, man. Did it.
It felt incredible.
How about that? Start the day, bro.
I know, we gotta keep doing this more often. Nothing makes me feel more alive than running New York City in the morning.
As I said, guys, donate to City Harvest if you feel you want to. Obviously, check out this legend across the YouTube channels. This next part's gonna require a trusty notebook. Do not leave this anywhere. Phone, keys, wallet, notebook, especially when it's pocket size. It's such a good tool. What's up, bro? My God. All right. Big fan of students. So if you ever coming downtown. It's probably my favourite coffee shop down here, just because it's rare to get a good shop in Fight Eye. It's also rare to get an Aussie one down here, so shout out to the team. I'm caffeinated, pumped, and ready to deliver this video for you guys. So let's get back and talk through how simple it is to break down what to eat and drink to prepare you for your marathon. This is about 250 grams rigatoni pasta, which equates to about 63 grams of carbohydrates. Big bowl too. Very excited for this one. By the way, how much cheese is too much cheese? It's never too much cheese. Oh, so why is nutrition important for a marathon? All right, let's take a complex topic and make it really simple. We're gonna break down, and at the end, you'll be able to understand at least a relative number for you to take on your game day. So why is nutrition important for an actual marathon? To keep things really simple, carbohydrates are going to be the main macronutrient we talk about today. Yes, there are fats and the proteins, but just for simplicity's sake, carbohydrates is what we're going to focus on. Now, you as an individual, on average, can store up to 500 grams of carbohydrates in the form of glycogen. So glycogen is the stored version of glucose, which is the energy we use, particularly in a marathon, these prolonged events. So what's interesting here is if you are working with 500 grams for your daily requirements, it's also doing everything else, not just for the marathon. Cellular work, everything else we need to actually function as a human. So whilst 500 grams sounds like a lot, you still have to think about it's already doing the things throughout the day along with the marathon to cope with essentially living carbs. Once we eat them, they become glucose, and then we store them in the form of glycogen, where we can store up to around 500 grams, 400 in the muscles, 100 in liver. Cool. So this is where we have to start breaking down and working backwards from the amount of calories we exert during a marathon. So on average, an individual burns between 2,500 calories and 3,500 calories per marathon. It's a bit of a ballpark, but just to give you an understanding. Let's split the difference and say 3,000 is our target. So what we say is that you want to make 60 to 70% of your overall calories coming from carbohydrates. So if you factor that in, that's around 1,800 to like say 1,900. So of 60 to 70%, let's kind of say carbs, 18 to 1,900 calories. Now we take that further. What does that actually mean in carbohydrates? Every 1 gram of carb equals 4 calories. So, if you were to divide 1,800 by 4, that would equate to the amount in grams you're looking to hit to make sure you look after the need or requirement for your race for carbohydrates. So let's work that out. 450 or 425, 1,800 divided by 4, 450, nice. That equals 450 grams. Now we're going to go one step further. What does that look like in food? So I'm going to actually ask Whoop Coach to help me out. Here are foods that equal 100 grams of carbohydrates. Right, so you have 1.5 cups of rice, 1.5 cups of pasta. Now, I'm a massive advocate for both brown rice and brown pasta or wholemeal pasta. The problem in this situation is by being a bit more fibrous, they affect the amount you can actually take on because you feel fuller earlier on. They're also slower in releasing energy for you. You want to make sure you have much more quick energy to support yourself. So in this situation, I actually prefer if you did white, both rice and pasta. In addition, you have 5 slices of white bread. That makes breakfast interesting. I actually remember when I was growing up, my brothers and I used to do like 12 slices of white bread with Vegemite and butter. It's crazy. You have 4 regular bananas. Makes things interesting as well. Around 2 medium-sized potatoes, just white potatoes. And then my favorite, about 1.5 cups of oats. Just remember, this is something you want to do between 3 to 4 days prior. Carbo-load is essential. You want to make sure you have 60 to 70% of your food intake coming from carbohydrates, and here are a bunch of sources for that to happen. Remember, throughout the day, there'd be just being human interaction or whatever it is you need to do for bodily function. You're going to be using carbohydrates even without exercise. That's why you need to make sure you're always keeping up to date 3 to 4 days beforehand. And this is obviously what's doing before, and to make sure you have enough for the day. In another video, I'm going to talk about what you need to do the correct way to fuel during, but that's just around food. In conclusion, we expel between 2,500 and 3,500 calories per marathon on average, but maybe a little bit less, maybe a bit more. So if that's the case, then we want to make sure, as we said earlier, that 60% to 70% of our total calories comes from carbohydrates. So if we were to, work this out and also take into account how many calories equal a gram, etc., we'd work out to be on a lower limit 400 grams carbohydrates, the very upper limit of 600 grams of carbs based on that 2500 to 3500. So then we talked about the different types of foods that equal 100 grams, so in their sizing. So then if you need recipes, obviously you can go to my respective channel, find things that would work. You can also search things on Center as well. We've got plenty of things there. That's a good way for you to apply the carbohydrate method. Now remember, this is something you want to do over a 3 to 4 day period prior to your marathon. Reason being is, one, it's hard to take on such amount for your body to all of a sudden load itself with carbohydrates, and you're already doing other things for your regular bodily function that carbohydrates require. Just make sure you're doing that beforehand, not leaving yourself in the dark when it comes to carbohydrates. In another video, I'll talk about what foods you should be having during a marathon. And hence, right, on to our next adventure. To finish off today, it's one of the best things I get to do. 1 in 5. That's the number of people in this city that don't know where their next meal is coming from, and 40%. That's the amount of food that goes to waste in New York City. So one of my favorite things to do with this team is the green market, where we actually rescue the food. So as I said earlier, 40% of food goes to waste. And the Green Market in Union Square is one of my favorite markets in the whole of New York City. We get together, a bunch of the volunteers get together and go around to different markets and pick up food that would otherwise go to waste. So that's where we're headed right now to meet the rest of the City Harvest team. What's up, dude?
Hi, how are
What's
you?
up? Give me some. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. So this is part of our awesome volunteers, but also some of our awesome runners. We've got the HQ team right here. Look at that.
Harvest, baby.
I've worked with City Harvest for a number of years now, and I always wanted to work with one charity every year that I know that I could add value to, but also one that really spoke to my values and my industry and what I believe. By rescuing food and providing it to those in need, we are changing the landscape of New Yorkers and those in the greater part of the tri-state area. And with City Harvest, not only do we rescue the food, we also provide to those people in need. I'm so stoked that I work with City Harvest. It's exactly what I've always wanted for a charity partner. It's 6:45. Team are now counting the total amount of pounds that we've rescued tonight.
Let's all guess how many pounds we collected.
I'm going with lucky number 3,800. What are we thinking?
I reckon 3,900.
Magic number, Maureen, give it to us.
290.
So that's the end of an awesome day. As we said earlier, City Harvest is so close to my heart. I've been running the marathon for them for many, many years now, and every year it's always my favorite day. This video was also all about making sure you guys walked away knowing how you can optimize your athletic performance on your marathon day. But be sure to get everything dialed in, not just on the day, but everything leading up. So just take away that simple formula and you are going to be so fine. It's going to be awesome. Let me know how you go. Love to know. Of course, if you want to continue to learn how to eat like a legend, subscribe to this channel. If you're ever in New York on a Wednesday and you want to come down to Union Square Market and donate your time to rescue some food, that's incredible. Let me know. You can obviously let us know in the comments down below. I'm grateful that I get to do this. I seriously cannot thank you enough. I appreciate you more than you know. I'm DC, and I'll catch you in the next video.